On the news, Peter Obi joins Labour Party after dumping opposition party PDP. INEC considers extension of 2023 election timetable as political parties mount pressure on Election Commission. And court declares Jonathan eligible to contest presidential election. Well, many thanks for joining us on News Now. I am Folashade Ogurinde. Former Anambra State Governor Peter Obi has formally joined the Labour Party. The development comes after Obi announced his resignation from the People's Democratic Party, PDP. Is expected to contest the presidential primary on the platform of his new party. In an announcement on his verified Twitter handle, the aspirant thanked all Nigerians, especially the youths, in his mission of taking back and reuniting Nigeria. Speaking on his decision to join the Labour Party, the presidential hopeful said the party aligns with the interests of Nigerians across different sectors. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is considering the request by political parties to extend the 2023 general election timetable. INEC Chairman Mahmood Yakubu made this known on Friday at the headquarters of the Electoral Umpire in Abuja, the nation's capital. He spoke during a meeting with leaders of political parties under the auspices of the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, for the adjustment of the timetable for the forthcoming polls.
Mr. Chairman, this meeting is coming on the heels of the meeting which the leaders of political parties, had, where we unanimously considered it very important to seek another round of talks with you, with your commission, in view of the critical necessity of the extension in ensuring smooth and hitch-free conduct of the processes leading to the 2023 general elections within the framework of the new Electoral Act 2022.
It appears that the proposition this time around is different from the request made earlier, for which the Commission has responded emphatically. For emphasis, the request the last time was for an extension of between 37 and 60 days. On this, the position of the Commission has not changed. Such a request will not be entertained in view of the overlapping activities contained in the timeline and schedule of activities already released and published. It appears that the parties have now presented a modified request for what the chairman calls a little adjustment. We will now discuss further to understand the basis for requesting this little adjustment, and thereafter the Commission will meet and a statement will be issued.
The Federal High Court sitting in Yenagoa has ruled that former President Goodluck Jonathan is eligible to contest the 2023 presidential election. The presiding judge, Justice Issa Hama Dashen, gave the judgment on Friday. He also held that Jonathan's right to run for the office of president again cannot be stopped by any retroactive law. Well, to discuss this further, Charles Ideho, political affairs analyst, joins me now. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, as expected, basically, new twists and turns keep emerging. But what do you make of Peter Obi's decision to formally join the Labour Party?
Okay, well, thanks for having me. It's not unexpected. It's not unexpected. If you look at the issues at hand in the past 48 hours or so, when he announced his resignation from PDP, and of course his discontinuation of his presidential aspiration on that platform, you understand that an Obi would not look for anything less than the platform that will offer him that presidential, what I said, aspiration, because his original focus was to ensure that he emerges the presidential hopeful for any party. So when he left the PDP, because as he said, PDP were not doing what he supposed could help him get to that point. You expected him to go to a place where they could easily accept him. There were talks that he's been having discussions with NNP, but of course, an NNP that has a big fish in the person of Musa Kwankwaso will not easily yield that ground for Peter Obi to just hand him over a la carte the presidential ticket. Okay, so then he was now left with other options, the option of Labour Party, the option of Accord Party that have been wooing him. So when you look at Labour Party and Accord Party, you see that Labour Party has more grounds in terms of structure than Accord Party. So I'm sure, based on that, he knows that Labour Party also has maybe presence in significant areas of the country. So I'm sure he chose the Labour in place of Accord because of some of these considerations. So it's not unexpected. And when he left PDP, he didn't leave that he was going to drop his ambition. They said PDP could not present to him what he wanted in order what will help him to actualize his aspirations. So it means that he was looking for other platform other than PDP. Now he has found Labour Party. We all wish him the best in his future operations. That's the way I look at it, Flashade.
All right, now let's shift focus now to the High Court ruling that made it eligible for former President Goodluck Jonathan to run for president. Well, is it not too late? What do you make of this?
Well, too late is not too late because it depends on when that case went to court. And such cases like this will always attract expedited actions. That's exactly what because there are people who want him to throw his hat into the ring. And there's been this news about he being attracted to come over to APC to also be there as part of the presidential hopefuls over there. So you expect those people to always do everything possible that within their reach to ensure that the case received the expedited action, expedited hearing, which of course you have found today. So it's not too late because you still have a few days to go. And the APC that is going to benefit from has not also done any clearance. We read in the news yesterday that they've not even done their own clearance as PDP has done. So he still has a window to also join them. If he wishes to join them, he still has a window to join them before the day for the primaries. Don't also forget that you just read in your news that IPAC may have received a note from INEC to have a possible extension of the timetable. So if that happens, it means that Jonathan has a whole lot of time on his hands to join the fray if he wishes so, to do that so that he can also be part of those that are going to be running for president on the platform of APC.
Well, indeed, Charles, it's definitely a wait-and-see situation, but thank you very much for your contribution. Thank you for coming. Well, still on political matters, the President of the Senate, Ahmad Lawan, has said the race for the presidency should be a contest of ideas and not where one comes from. Lawan added that he has offered himself for the job because he possesses the essentials that would make him an effective and efficient president of the country. He made the remarks in Abuja while addressing the All Progressives Congress APC leaders and particularly the delegates from the Federal Capital Territory FCT. Earlier, the chairman of the APC in FCT, Abdulmalik Usman, made a passionate request for a mayor in Abuja. He also complained that the Abuja indigenes had not been benefiting from appointments either as ambassadors, ministers, or such other appointments into government parastatals.
I stand here before you to tell you why I believe that I have what it takes: the social, political, and educational wherewithal, the essentials that will make me be an effective and efficient President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria after President Muhammadu Buhari finishes his tenure. I am not an ethnic or geopolitical candidate. In fact, I always look forward to having the best from any part of Nigeria. So because I ran for this office, and because I'm from the north, should not be any reason for me to think that somebody from another part of the country, for example, from the southern part of the country, cannot be president. I present my credentials that I have, with all humility, the requisite training, the requisite experience, and the network and links across the country to make Nigeria greater.
All what we've been crying for, no state status for the Federal Capital Territory, no ministerial appointment for the Federal Capital Territory, no other meaningful appointment in the parastatal agencies in the Federal Capital Territory. Mr. Senate President is here today. He will use his hammer today to make I has it for all these things to happen to the people of Africa.
Presidential aspirant under the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Sam Onwabua, says whoever emerges as the party's candidate may likely win the 2023 presidential election. Addressing newsmen in Lagos on Thursday, Onwabua said he believes it was time for the PDP to produce the next president of Nigeria. According to him, members of the party, especially delegates and committees in charge of the presidential primaries, must show Nigerians that the PDP is ready to again lead the country.
You have the vision to take Nigeria from a first world to become a developed country, to move from being perpetually developing to become really developed, to move from perpetually a potentially great country to become a truly great country. That's the kind of message and the reflection that we have received in this season. So what is now left is to appeal to the delegates who are going to be participating in the presidential primary elections over the weekend to look to the future. Think about their children, think about their grandchildren, think about our country in ensuring that we, at the end of the exercise, by the help of God, nominate a candidate that is enlightened, that has exposure, that knows that the world does not stop here, that knows that we're operating a global system where there can never be Nigerian way only. It's no longer acceptable. We must all be doing things at the best global standards.
As part of effort to improve maritime safety and tackle piracy on Nigerian waters, the Nigerian Navy has launched its new warship, NNS Kada. The ship, which departed Sharjah in the United Arab Emirates on the 1st of April 2022, berthed at the Nigerian Naval Blockyard Jetty on Friday. Speaking at the induction of the NNS Kada into the Nigerian Navy Fleet reception ceremony, the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awa Zubairu Gambo, said the warship will further enhance the Navy's fight against maritime crimes and illegalities within the nation's maritime domain and the Gulf of Guinea. On his part, the former Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Dele Zilba, emphasized the need for adequate maintenance of the new warship by the Nigerian Navy as well as the government.
Great feat for the Nigerian Navy in its recapitalization efforts. Definitely it will enhance our presence at sea to curb maritime crimes within our waters, that is our exclusive economic zone, up to the Gulf of Guinea, maritime domain. And of course, it will help in humanitarian relief services which could be rendered by the Nigerian Navy. It will assist in the airlift of, sea lift of our troops. And of course, where we're operating with the two sister services, the Army and the Air Force, we have the helicopter landing deck, which you must have seen at the quarterdeck of this ship. It will enhance, our operation.
This is about the biggest LST in the whole of Africa as we speak today. Having gone around the ship, I've come to terms with the technicalities and the high level of equipment that are on board. So what is important at this time is to consider the requirement for sustainability of this very platform. Our experiences in the past has shown that if we do not put the resources, global best practices demand that at least 40% of the cost of this ship should be made available for yearly maintenance. And that has to be appropriated by the National Assembly. Otherwise, we'll have a challenge in terms of maintaining and sustaining this very.
It's quite common to see people with disabilities beg for alms in many parts of Nigeria, but there are a few who are challenging the status quo and doing so in unique ways. 26-year-old Augustine Ekpaji has been blind from childhood, but that has not stopped him from disc jockeying. With passion and determination, the blind disc jockey has overcome disability stereotypes. He's now making a name for himself in the Nigerian music industry. Our correspondent Abisola Adebayo has more in this report.
Augustine Ekpaji professionally works the DJ control unit and matches beats on his audio console. At 4 months old, he lost his eyesight after being diagnosed with cancer of the eyes. Despite not being able to see, Ekpaji took up disc jockeying. Sharing his story, he says he was inspired by a naysayer who discriminated against him.
A lady did inspire me because of her words. She's saying I can't disc jockey for her event. She was like saying, because I can't see, then I can't be a disc jockey. I had to prove her wrong. I learned DJing myself. No one taught me how to become a DJ today. Due to the way I love music and through radio mixes, TV mixtapes that I listen to, DJ mixtapes around the road, along the roadside, and whatnot.
Ekpaji has worked as a disc jockey since 2015 and he has no troubles attracting customers and gigs at events. His father says his disability has never been in the way of his talent since he was a child.
I don't even expect that Austin can even do anything as a blind somebody. But the way he's doing things, sir, in fact, I don't know whether it's God that gave him that talent.
Better known as DJ Osj, the visually impaired man is as talented as every seasoned professional in the business. Ekpaji's talent is not only causing waves in his immediate circle, he is now one of the top DJs on Clubhouse, a networking platform where talents across the world showcase their skills.
I'm one of the top DJs on Clubhouse as we speak, and also play for birthday parties, play for wedding ceremonies, play for clubs. Name them. I'm a producer, I'm a multi-instrumentalist, I'm a voiceover artist, I'm a programmer.
Beyond Ekpaji's passion for music, his resilience has also kept him going, and he is also keen on fighting the stereotypes around disability.
I love music. I don't joke with music. If not for money, money is just like it's just taking 30% of it. I want to elevate to that extent, to go through different continents, countries, meet top DJs, try to know what they do, how they do it. I try to improvise on myself.
Ekpaji released his official album and mixtape in 2021, and he keeps working hard to become an household name in the Nigerian music scene and beyond, despite his disabilities. Abisola Adebayo, TV360 News.
Well, we'll take a break here, but still to come, Nigeria's oil production not enough to cover petrol import cost. Federal government reveals details of the story and more right after this break.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
President must see himself as the President of the Federal Republic.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On TV360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts, and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians say in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
TV360, dissecting the issues.
Welcome back. Now here is a recap of some of our top stories tonight. Former Anambra State Governor Peter Obi has formally joined the Labour Party. The development comes after Obi announced his resignation from the People's Democratic Party. He's expected to contest the presidential primary on the platform of his new party. But in case you missed any of our news bulletin or for more updates, do log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Google Plus at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we are TV360 Online. Japan has announced that it will reopen to tourists from 36 countries starting June 10, and then a 2-year pandemic closure, but travelers will only be allowed in with tour groups. The decision comes after the government last week said it would test allowing small group tours with visitors from the United States, Australia, Thailand, and Singapore from this month. On Thursday, the government revised border controls to resume accepting package tours from 36 countries and regions where the COVID situation is relatively stable. Well, we'll take a breather here and return with more stories in business, the foreign scene, as well as sports. To stay with us.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
And wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the Go Tour app if you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other People Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
Welcome back. Well, Simi Saladigo now joins us for more stories in business. Over to you, Simi.
Thank you, Shade. Welcome to business. The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, says the country's low oil production cannot cover the cost of imported petrol from its oil and gas revenue. Ahmed said this on Thursday on the sideline of the World Economic Forum in Davos. She said the federal government hopes that oil production will average 1.6 million barrels per day this year. In the first quarter of 2022, Nigeria's oil production averaged 1.5 million barrels per day. Go on a short break and be back with stock market reports. This week is ending on a positive note, thanks to positive sentiments and buy-offs driven by bargain hunting activities. Consequently, the all-share index increased by 1.76%, while market capitalization remains at 29 trillion naira. Market activity shows that a total of 208 million volume of shares valued at 4.52 billion naira exchanged hands in 4,898 deals. Now, despite positive trading, market breadth ended negative with 18 gainers against 20 losers. Top earning equities are Cotix and Airtel Africa. They have a combined gain of 1,769 naira 82 kobo. The least earning equities are Nigerian Breweries and UAC Nigeria with a combined 79 naira 8 kobo. Global equities funds saw their biggest inflows in 10 weeks, led by U.S. shares Dow Jones. You can see that it's glowing at 1.09%. This good fortune cuts across UK's FTSE at 0.27%, while Japan's Nikkei is at 0.66%. That's all on stock market review. Back to you, Folashade.
Many thanks, Simi. And on the foreign scene, the Taliban has rejected the United Nations Security Council's call to reverse heavy restrictions imposed on Afghan women, dismissing their concerns as unfounded. The Security Council unanimously adopted a resolution on Tuesday that criticized the Taliban for limiting girls' and women's access to education, government jobs, and freedom of movement since seizing power last year. This comes as Afghanistan's supreme leader ordered women to cover up, including their faces when in public, triggering international outrage. The Security Council's 15 member states called on the Taliban to swiftly reverse the policies and practices which are currently restricting the human rights and fundamental freedoms of Afghan women and girls. And in sports, Nigeria is set to face either Ghana or Benin Republic in the second round of the qualifying series for the 2022 African Nations Championship in Algeria. These draws for the Chan tournament, which was held on Thursday in Cairo, Egypt, will see 18 teams take part in the next final tournament in Algeria next January and February. The draw was steered by CAF's head of competition, Khalid Nasser, who was assisted by Algerian legend Jamil Manad. Both Ghana and Benin Republic clashed in Zone West A first-round qualifiers, with the winners squaring up against the Super Eagles B, the 2018 runners-up. And that's the size of our news bulletin. Many thanks for watching. I am Folashade Ogurinde. Bye for now.